Good afternoon. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty metro area in New York City, and I form plug intros so real estate agents and their affiliated business partners can gain more and better referral partners. I have with me today Monica Burgos, who's a friend and is doing great in the mortgage industry. And there's so much going on as of June. What is today? It's 15th or 16th?
16th, yes.
16th. So there's so much that we have to hear about. And
yes.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Monica. Tell me what is going on in the market and what are you finding and how are you navigating?
Yes, it's very challenging right now because of everything that's going on with the feds and mortgage rates. And it sounds crazy, but what the Federal Reserve is trying to accomplish is to counteract inflation by raising interest rates in the federal funds rate. And that does affect the lending capacity of banks, and banks are being forced to raise their rates as well. However, the ultimate goal of the Federal Reserve is to cause a recession. And it sounds crazy because anyone would think, well, why would they want a recession? The reason they want the recession is to control spending, to minimize spending so that they will counter inflation. So when you minimize spending, inflation levels start going down. So right now, yes, it's challenging. Thank God the bank I work for has an advantage. We're a seller servicer, so we have better rates than other banks. And we're also taking into account that many people, they might not be able to afford the rates in this current market because they're above 6% right now. So we're still giving people rates at 5 point something, maybe 5.75, and we're taking a loss just to put people into homes because we can't stop doing loans. That's how we make a living, and that's how people are able to also achieve their goals.
Monica, so how did your bank handle this fluctuation of rates?
On some transactions, we're taking a loss because if the borrower's income is not sufficient to support a higher rate, we're giving them the rate that they qualify for. They may have to pay points, of course, but we might still be taking a loss. But we're doing it because we're not going to decline an application because we can't make our full compensation on it. We'd rather take a loss and allow people to get into homes. So that's what we've been doing. And I've just been watching, the rates to see when I get an opportunity to lock someone's rate. And, I have to discuss with the borrowers and make sure that they're aware of what's going on in the economy. I have an application that I recommend for everyone to look at. It's called Mortgage News Daily. You can get it on your phone for free, and it gives you updates twice a day on what the rates are. And they give you commentaries on, what the Federal Reserve is doing and, what investors are thinking of doing and, what the mortgage-backed securities are, and it's very good to have because I usually show borrowers when they have a doubt about what I'm explaining to them. And they also show rates from different banks. So if you're offering a borrower 5.75 and they think it's high, and you show them that Quicken Loans is charging. I lost you for a minute.
No, I'm okay. I saw that video. You're back.
Okay.
You said that Quicken Loans is charging?
They may be charging a higher rate than what I'm offering the borrowers at time. So having that app is great because I can show the borrowers what other banks are offering so that they can see that we're competitive.
Right. That's important because people, I tell you what, people are still, I'm sure, calling you. The rates are in the 3s, which it was in March. What do you say to that?
Well, I asked them, are you watching the news? Because, everything started changing in March when the war started. Inflation set in. And even if you go to Google and you do a search on why did the rates increase, I usually tell people, don't go by what I'm telling you. Research, find out on your own if what I'm saying is true. But I wanted to mention to you about that new program that I told
Please
you
let me
about.
know.
Yes, so Freddie Mac um, has a new program for accessory dwelling units, which is something that's very helpful for borrowers with low to moderate income. Well, actually, there's different programs. There's the Home Ready program from Fannie Mae. There's Home Passable from Freddie Mac, and then there's the accessory dwelling unit addition uh, that Freddie Mac introduced 2 weeks ago, and there's no income limitation on that.
So does that mean to say that's only useful for true multifamily or an accessory apartment, which is not a multifamily?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
So they allow it with no income limitation on 1 to 3 units, and you can add the accessory dwelling unit as a fourth unit. If it were, let's say, a 3 unit property and you have a basement apartment, it has to have its kitchen, bathroom, and separate
Right.
entrance.
But for properties that are being used as a mother-daughter or something like that,
Yes, you can use it for single family, for two family, for three
that's good.
family. It can have up to 4 units. It cannot have 5 units, but up to 4 units, which means you can go up to legal 3 with the accessory unit, and you can add that income to help the borrower qualify. So they're doing it to help people get into homes because they know that the prices of the homes have gone up significantly, and it's been a challenge to get people into homes because their incomes may not be sufficient due to the increase in rates and property values going up. So that program has no income limitation. I just got an approval yesterday for a borrower that makes $100,000 a year. She's buying a single family home with a basement apartment, and I put her in the program because even though she makes $100,000 a year, she's buying a home in the Bronx, and the price of the home, she needed the rental income from the.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I mean, there are accessory apartments and there's accessory apartments. Is this something that someone has to check out? Is the code up to speed with the electric? Is there C of O? I mean, you know what goes on. There's people living in all kinds of conditions.
So I've been doing loans through Home Ready for like the past 4 years. And with Home Ready, which is similar to this program with the ADUs, the apartment doesn't have to be legal. They just have to have a separate entrance, a kitchen, and the bathroom. The
Hmm.
bank is not looking at whether the apartment is legal or not. They're just looking at those 3 factors, whether it has a separate entrance, the kitchen, and the bathroom. But the only way that we can do the loan is if it's in that program. So, in other words, if you're doing an FHA loan with a two unit or a 1 unit with a basement apartment with kitchen and bathroom, that's illegal with FHA.
Hmm.
You have to take out the stove.
Sure.
But
And
if
that's
you're
no big deal. They're electric stoves. Take them away.
Well, if it's an electric stove, I have appraisers that they'll pass, the inspection, the appraisal inspection, if the stove is an electric stove. If it's gas, that's where there's a problem.
No, they shouldn't be gas for an accessory. That's crazy.
Well, the banks don't care. When we do the appraisals for Home Ready and Home Passive. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
When they do the appraisals for Home Ready and Home Passable, and they do the inspection for the kitchen, they don't care if the stove is a gas stove for Home Ready and Home Passable. If it's an FHA loan and there's a stove in the basement, it has to be electric. It cannot be gas.
Okay.
Yes, but so with Home Ready, that's mainly for single units. single unit properties for people with incomes that don't exceed like $79,000 per year. Then Fannie Mae, Home Ready is from Fannie Mae, I'm sorry. Home Passable is from Freddie Mac. So Freddie Mac, I guess in order to compete and I'm sorry, I lost you.
It's all right.
So Home Ready was really, I guess, in the lead, doing. I mean, Fannie Mae was in the lead with their Home Ready program, and Freddie Mac, in order to compete with Home Ready, they came up with, they increased their income limit about 2 weeks ago to $90,000 a year, because Home Ready under Fannie Mae income limit is 79,000. So Home Passable raised their income limit to 90,000. So now, sorry, I lost you again.
It's all
So
right. Nothing we can
the,
do.
the good thing, so Home Ready, we use it for single family units. Home Passable, you can use it for single families, especially now that the income limit is 90,000. But the good thing about Home Passable is that you can, the good thing about Home Passable is that you can buy a 2 unit property with 5% down if your income is not above $90,000 a year. It's a conventional loan for multi-unit properties with 5% down. So it's, this is something that they just brought back like 2 weeks ago because they had discontinued the uh the 5% down payment on 2 units for conventional. That had been discontinued last year, and they just brought it back 2 weeks ago. So it's wonderful because if you have someone with a 760 credit score and you want to maximize their income in order to get them into a home, if you put them into an FHA loan, FHA has a higher mortgage interest. If you put them into a conventional loan and their credit score is a 760, they're going to pay a fraction of what they would pay in the mortgage interest in an FHA loan. So you can increase their purchasing power. So
That's powerful. Well, that's really important for you to work with your realtors because the realtors don't have this kind of connection to the lending industry. The buyers are hopeful that you can help them. I think this makes you even more valuable to your agent referral partners, create a stronger bond, and have a way to really help the industry and your local buyers and sellers continue to close, because I'm hearing that people are thinking this is going to be the end of the world. There's no more buying, there's no more selling. But I will tell you, even though we're firmly believing that transactions will continue, there's no way that you're going to get multiple offers and over asking right now. Don't you agree?
we're seeing a we're seeing less people going over asking and more sellers reducing the prices of the homes, even though there's still low inventory, but there's not as much competition as before. And a good thing also that a new product that, well, this product has been around for a long time, but many banks had shied away from it. It's the no income verification loans.
Sure, that's a new one. Is that really back?
Yes. So if you
Wow.
have people that can afford to put 20% down, you can do a no DAC loan. So I just had a conversation with a borrower about an hour ago. He's doing a no income verification loan. He's doing 20% down. And he asked me, well, the rate is at about 7.75%. And I'm like, okay, yes, but you can always refinance. There's no prepayment penalty when the home is a primary residence.
Right. Sure, of course.
because you know
But I
usually
mean, so he should be happy about 775 since he's not showing
he's not
any
showing
pulled
any
up.
income. So he thought it was high, and I said to him, "Well, have you seen the news? Because yesterday the rates peaked at 6.625." So I told him, "You can refinance in 6 months. I'll get you a discount on the rate because I can do something called a SEMA, where we don't charge the
I'm very familiar. You know, SEMAs were gone, correct? I mean, that was not used anymore, but I've done plenty of SEMAs. Now, if I could say a SEMA is an agreement to continue the prior loan and just pay the mortgage tax on the new money, they say the difference between the old and the new.
Yes. So
I
what
did
they do,
thousands of those.
yes. So what they do is they collect the Alangi, they collect the documents that show the mortgage tax that was paid in the previous loan, and they only charge the difference. So if the person is doing a cash out and the loan amount is higher, then they only pay the mortgage tax on the
Now,
overage.
this is very valuable in New York City because the mortgage tax is so high.
Yes. It's in New York City, it's about it's 2.05%, but the bank carries about
A
a
quarter.
quarter of a percent,
Right.
and then the borrower has to pay the rest. But if we do a SEMA, we've always done SEMAs. It's just that not all banks like doing them because they'd rather close faster, sooner than later, because it
Well,
could take
during this
more.
mortgage boom, I've heard of no SEMAs being done.
Well, because people were, they didn't care to pay a higher closing cost. They just wanted to get the lower
Yep.
rate.
Mm-hmm.